Hey, this is Trevor from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you are tuned into Behind the Scene.
That was sick. How you going, man?
Good, man. Just relaxing for a couple more days before we launch out there to Oz, man. So, getting pretty excited.
Yeah, it's coming down real quick. What are you most excited for while you're in Australia?
The pies, for sure. The shows. I think the shows are going to be awesome. I look forward to hearing some new Aborted tunes. They got that new album, Terror Vision, coming out right when the tour kicks off, and I think between the two of us, our combined might, we'll have some kick-ass shows. We have Zeolite on the entire run too. Those guys are cool. So, yeah, I anticipate a good one, man.
So did you boys pick the supports personally, or did you have much of a
No, we didn't pick the supports, but we are very good friends with Direct Touring, and we've been friends with Dave from Psychroptic and the other guys for a long time. I was pleasantly surprised to see Aborted on the bill, and I didn't know who Zeolite was, but they're very, I checked them out and they're cool. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's wicked. It's definitely a lineup to go and check out if you haven't got tickets already. Do you have any things that you want to, like, obviously you're playing between the 21st and the 27th of September, but is there anything else in that week that you want to kind of get done while you're in Australia? Like eating pies and seeing shows, but is there anything on the bucket list that you reckon you'd want to tick off?
Nah, I mean, nothing that I haven't done before. I did the whole kangaroo thing, going to meet the kangaroos and hold the koala for the infamous picture that everybody takes, when all the stateside guys come over. But, I'm looking forward to running into Psychroptic and hanging out in Hobart, and definitely looking forward to the last show in Brisbane because Disentomb is on the bill. And they're good buddies of ours and just an awesome band. So I'll definitely be checking them out again. And overall, man, just lots of pies, lots of good beer, and I just like this scene out there, man. You guys are very metal, as a continent. So, I'm definitely stoked to get out there. And I keep saying this, but I mean, you guys eat lightning and shit chains, I'm
gonna have to use that. That's a good one.
Yeah,
good one. Yeah. So it is awesome, obviously, having you come back across to play some tunes for us. Has it been hard to kind of branch out to a new continent and establish the awareness?
No, it's been cool. I think that there's been a really good word of mouth for the band there. There's definitely been some growth over time, and doing Soundwave a couple times I think helped as well. Just reaching a different crowd. But yeah, man, I think it's been like everywhere else that we've gone. It's been an uphill battle. Winning people over slowly, but it's starting to get pretty good over there, man. So throw in Aborted too, and I think we got ourselves a pretty good series of shows coming up.
Yeah, that lineup is beyond stacked. I know that I've had so many people sharing it on my Facebook news feed and just how keen they are to see Aborted, and then obviously Zeolite being on the being the hometown, like the Australian support. That's an off tap kind of dream come through for those boys, I know. So that's awesome. Do you have any development on this album from you and the band that there hasn't been on prior releases?
I think that it's it's like the most evolved album we've done. I think it's still recognizable as Black Dahlia Murder, which is always, important. We're always kind of straddling this line between, sticking with our formula that we've done, to be recognizable for fans, but also challenging ourselves with more complicated parts, more complex arrangements, and, more details of the song, more technical kind of shredding aspects. So, this one I think is just the strongest set of songs we've done and the most varied album that we've done, which is something we're always striving for. Variety is good in our world, and in death metal it's easy to get samey, you know what I mean? Especially if you're a fast band, So it's good to have different tempos, different, we've got some new ideas on this one. Brandon coming in as the new lead guitar player and the new blood in the band, I think brought some fresh ideas to the table and helped make the album, what it is. But Yeah, I feel like it's our proudest moment. I think our strongest set of songs, and but it's just a photograph of where we are right now. You know what I mean? And then it's soon enough it'll be time to think about the new album, and I'll be I'm pretty excited for to see what's next, because things just happen so naturally with this record, and it's just done so much for us so far.
Well, it's interesting that you touched on that, saying it was like a photograph in time of the band. Do you find that looking back over the discography that there is a lot of significant changes?
I think that the events that would change things, I guess, would be like the players changing. You know what I mean? Certain positions that have changed hands. Lead guitar player, was it a pretty significant change? And but I think at the same time it's been that same evolution we've been talking about. Just trying to stick to the formula, but write better, more engaging songs that are hopefully last longer in people's consciousness. And just I don't know, man, we've always been trying to make good music, and it's been an evolution for sure. I think that the band's become more professional over time, and in return has brought in the most professional players we've had in the last few years. You know what I mean? So it's good to hear that. You know what I mean? It's a positive change.
Definitely. What have been some of the most significant things that you've learned while touring with the band? Like either being some of the things that you've learned not to do over time, or some interesting stories. Has there been any key things that you've taken away from the past?
Well, one of the most important things I learned early on was to just kind of relax and live while you're out on tour, and not really be counting the days and stressing about home so much, but you got to kind of make a routine out there on the road to keep your sanity, whether it's, having your backpack arranged in a certain way and kind of doing things in a certain order in a day, or, you just got to kind of prepare for that to be your life out there. You know what I mean? So you got to make the most of your time on tour, not just wish you were home all the time. And, but I mean, there's been all kinds of things we learned. We were very green when we started out. I remember like being backstage and eating food from Every Time I Die's rider. You know what I mean? Because we were just entirely clueless. We're like, oh, look, hummus. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, there's been a lot of growing pains on that front. And, just when you start out, and, we were very lucky to be thrown into the world of Metal Blade as a young band. And, starting to tour seriously, there was definitely some growing pains, of those, just being inexperienced. I remember like not knowing what a buyout was, and, or like, just like, what is this? It's $10 to eat. It's in the contract. Like, wow, cool.
That would have been a pretty new experience, like especially at that time of the turn in the live music scene. Like I know that the US scene has always been a fair bit more advanced than the Aussie scene. That if you were in a position, like what would your dream festival lineup be?
Oh man, it would be a death metal fest for sure, and it would have like Dead Congregation, Defeated Sanity, Midnight, Ghoul, gotta throw Disentomb in there.
No.
They're awesome. Yeah, man, just be a total death metal festival with all my favorite bands. And, we've been lucky and we've been fortunate to see a lot of cool bands in our travels, but to have them all in one place, that would be awesome. And I think that I could curate quite a kick-ass lineup if I really put my mind to it.
Well, I reckon we might hear something from you in the next few years, festival wise. What do you reckon?
That would be cool, man. I won't rule it out.
Oh, there we go. We got an exclusive here. I guess if you could say anything to a younger you about kind of all of the exciting times to come, as well as all the the heartaches and the sleepless nights and everything, what would be some of the key advice that you'd give to a younger you?
Man, I don't know. Probably don't drink that, or don't eat that, or um, yeah, I wouldn't change too much, honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess my advice would be, to work a little harder on the advertisement of the band. You know what I mean? Which I'm still always trying to do. You know what I mean? And using the internet to its maximum capacity. And, I mean, we've been pretty good about that, but there's always room for improvement. And maybe it could have helped earlier on if it had been taken more seriously,
Do you find that, like, it's an interesting space, the internet, but do you find that you get still mixed up with the Black Dahlia murder of the 1940s? Like, is that something that happens still?
It barely happens now where someone comes to our social media and thinks it's, just dealing with the murder. But in the early days, it happened quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
I can imagine.
And then now there's at least some awareness. I think the movie coming out, that was even 10 years plus now ago. But I think that helped raise awareness of the band, or at least I think especially in the States, it's a little bit more known. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, it's a significant happening. It's like it represents the kind of darkening of times. You know what I mean? So. But once you know the context of the murder and kind of about it, I think the band name takes on obviously a way more serious connotation, and it's definitely I think the name's been good for us. It's been a good name.
So who actually came up with it back then? Was it you, or was it like
decision? It was me. It's a band decision to vote for it. Obviously. I remember at the beginning we had a holdout in our other guitar player, John Deering, at the time. He didn't like the name for a while. But yeah, man, just like when I learned about the case, it just honestly, scared the shit out of me, man. There's just so much eeriness. It's not just in the crime itself and the violent act itself, but all the people that came forth and wrongly confessed, just hoping to like get a piece of fame or history or whatever, which is just kind of sick, and
yeah, I guess it goes
a lot of really weird, macabre shit surrounding the case, and it's just I don't know, it's just one of those things, man. It just never seems to go away, Well,
yeah, it's definitely stuck in the minds of a lot of people over the years. Like, that was a better answer than I was anticipating. The Australian scene, as you were saying before, other than Zeolite, do you have any bands that you've got your eye on? I know it's probably a bit out of left field, but is there any kind of Aussie bands that you could...
I like Psychroptic, of course. Ruins, that's another Psychroptic related band. Haven't been fortunate enough to see them yet, Revulsed is awesome. I really like them. What else is cool? Is Organectomy an Aussie band? I think they are. I like Laceration Mantra. Like, we took Aversion's Crown out. Those guys are good.
Oh, Aversion's Crown. Fuck yeah.
Organectomy is from New Zealand. You'll have to excuse me. But,
yeah,
we are going there too on this trip. I like a lot of classic stuff out of Australia. Misery, is awesome. What else do I like? You guys have a lot of cool black thrash, Destroyer 666, stuff like that. Lots of spike-clad legions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you just
I really like
quick.
Depravity is a new band that I really like. I think it's going places. Depravity, those guys fucking rip, man.
I'll have to check them out, actually.
Yeah, they have the drummer. He plays in the Führer and a lot of real aggro bands like that. Impiety from Singapore, he plays with them too.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Take it easy, dude. Bye.
Take care.